podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
Blueberry.
This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
On air, online, on now. From the hub of the universe, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, this is Subject Cinema, with your hosts, T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome TC and Kim.
Woo! Yay! Wee! Woo! Oh, it's that time of year again. It is December 31st, 2019.
Yes.
And the final edition of Subject Cinema for 2019.
Yeah.
I'm T.C. Kirkham.
I'm Kim Brown.
And we've been bringing you all of our year-end stuff. And right now, on this episode, Subject Cinema number 643. Well, we always end. We used them with the Poppies and Rosies, but the last couple of years we have not seen enough.
Yeah.
They'll be back next year, I promise. We're going to make sure we see what we're supposed to see.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, right.
Okay. So we're going to do the ones we can do with what we have seen.
Yes.
Oh, all 13 films in her case and 15 in my case. The 2019 Just 'Cause We Can Awards. You want to explain how this got started?
Okay. The reason, you have to go back to when we were doing the Poppies and Rosies. We had very serious categories in the Poppies and Rosies. Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Cinematographer,
The regular awards.
Right. But then we started thinking, well, what about awards that are, less serious, more flip things?
They were part of the Poppies and Rosies originally.
Yes.
Under the Just 'Cause We Can Awards banner.
Right.
But they were inspired.
They were inspired by the unofficial official awards, which were given out by Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Now, they have their own awards as well. Most popular wrestler, most hated, da-da-da. The unofficial official awards were written in by the readers of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. They made up the award, and they awarded it to whomever.
More than once she had stuff published.
I did. True.
Way back in the day. When
way back in the day, starting off with the first one that ever got published was, what was it? Wrestler I'd most like to see in the centerfold of Playgirl, which I had said was Carrie Von Erich.
Oh, okay.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, okay. So anyway.
Yep. So we decided, well, we'll come up with our own, but we can't call them unofficial official awards. That's totally ripping off somebody else.
Because they are official awards. They're just silly awards.
But we figured, well, they're just because we can.
Yeah.
And that's how they've come to be known.
If you have some just kind of because you can, I can't talk tonight. We just got home from New Year's Eve dinner.
And we haven't had anything to drink yet.
No, we haven't. If you have some ideas for your own Just 'Cause We Can awards, send them in. Subject Cinema at PNRNetworks.com.
Yeah.
And we will read them on one of our first shows of 2020. So please do. All right, go ahead.
Oh, I get to start?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Ladies before gentlemen.
Okay. My first award, I've done this several years in a row. the sexiest superhero of 2019. This one might surprise some people.
Tell you who it's not. Go ahead.
Okay, rude, whatever that was.
I can just tell you who it's not because of the character. Go ahead.
Oh. My sexiest superhero of 2019 was Tony Stark, a.k.a. Iron Man from Avengers Endgame. Besides the fact that, Robert Downey Jr. is a very handsome man and therefore Tony Stark is very handsome, sometimes a person's desirability is matched by who they are on the inside as well as how they look on the outside. Mm-hmm. And Tony Stark, for all of his faults, is a good person.
Oh, yeah.
Whether or not even he wants to acknowledge it, and nothing showed that more than his behavior in Endgame. And let's face it, I realize this is a total chick thing, whatever. You see a guy who is a good dad, and that makes every woman go nuts, or almost every woman. I didn't realize that was something that I was like, oh, he's such a good dad. That's hot. What the hell? It was very weird to be like, oh my gosh, and it was among the million other reasons that Tony Stark was awesome in that movie. So my sexiest superhero of 2019, Tony Stark.
Okay. The hero I was mentioning is the figure on my first one, or sort of figures on the first one.
Okay.
Because I knew it couldn't be the sexiest, because then it would just be ew. The movie I was absolutely sure I was going to hate, but just couldn't award.
Okay.
This year goes to Shazam.
Oh.
And I can't see you finding Shazam the sexiest superhero for obvious reasons.
Well, Zachary Levi's not a bad looking dude. Don't be mean.
I just didn't feel this movie going in.
And you are a longtime fan.
I'm a fan of the
Captain
original
Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, can we
not. I mean, we got Captain Marvel this year in the form of Marvel's version.
Yes.
Fawcett's version. DC's version. I liked this a lot, even though this is not the Shazam I'm used to.
No.
I was not used to the one where Billy stays mentally a 14-year-old. Mm-hmm. I mostly liked it because I thought Jack Dylan Grazer stole the show as Freddie Freeman. He was just brilliant. But Mark Strong, playing a villain? Really?
Wow.
As Dr.
Shocker.
Savannah was great. And Asher Angel did a great job with Billy, as did Zachary Levi as Shazam. Mm-hmm. So the movie I was absolutely certain I was going to hate, but ended up not and just couldn't award, goes to Shazam.
Okay. This one takes a little bit of music along with it, so pardon me for
no background music,
not that kind of no. Pardon me for changing the lyrics, but you'll understand in a minute. When Yankee fans are smiling, and that award goes to the complete and utter destruction of Fenway Park in Godzilla King of the Monsters. The final battle.
How can you tell?
Well, I saw it fine. It's not my fault your eyes are 5 years older than mine.
That was mean.
I know. I didn't have that problem that you had. You complained that about the last movie as well.
Everybody complained about the last movie and this movie.
Well, I didn't have a problem with it.
No, of course, because it's not Fraudzilla.
The complete and utter ass kicking that the green monster takes from the King of the Monsters and also from King Ghidorah and other monsters as well. I'm sorry. I was sitting there watching this, and besides cringing at, Boston, one of Boston's most famous, the Cathedral of Boston, as some people refer to it, being completely smashed to kindling by a bunch of giant monsters. All I could think was, somewhere in New York City, there's a bunch of Yankees fans laughing their heads off. So, when Yankees fans are smiling for the destruction of Fenway Park in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate statement, too. Mm-hmm. The Playing with Fire Award. It's always a dangerous thing, don't you think?
Yeah.
These guys are really playing with fire. It goes to Lucien Greaves and the Church of Satan from the documentary Hail Satan.
You're not wrong about that.
These guys are playing with the name Satan, with the whole concept of Satan worship, even though that's not what they're doing. They don't have any intention of actually falling on the ground and praising Satan over Christ. They're using the idea behind the Church of Satan to push political buttons. Specifically, stuff like the ACLU will go after. Like if you have a Christian statue, then you should have a statue of, what's the name of the character? Baphomet?
Yeah.
Which is what their whole thing is in this movie. The movie is brilliant. It's done by the incredible woman who made Arnixon and the great, hilarious Nuts, Penny Lane. And it is, I mean, these guys are based in Salem.
Yep.
So, and they seem, you can tell when you listen to them. Kim won't watch it for obvious reasons, and I don't blame her. I'm not going to force her to watch it. She's uncomfortable with it. I thought it was fascinating. I think it's one of the best documentaries of the year, and it really shows the mindset all the way through that their Satan worship is the end, is the means to an end. My playing with fire, but you don't want to play with fire because, you know, Satan's going to come up and kick their ass one of these days.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, so what are you going to do when he shows up and goes, well, you've been praying to me all this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Here I am. Then what?
I am.
Then what? You know.
The Playing with Fire Award goes to Lucien Greaves and the Church of Satan, featured in Penny Lane's wonderful documentary, Hail Satan? ?
Okay. Gonna get a little down right now.
Okay, get out of the way early.
Yeah. This is one that I feel like I need to give simply because it fits. It fits the way I think a lot of people who saw this film, including us, felt. The best use possible for a line from a William Shakespeare play.
Okay.
There's some lines at the end of Hamlet. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. And that goes to Love Antosha. The documentary Love Antosha is about Anton Yelchin, who was taken from us way, way too young.
At 27, which is just a crime.
Yeah, in a freak accident. And the fact that he had so much already that he was dealing with it for the longest time,
and
he didn't
might
even
not
know.
have lived that much longer anyway, but still.
Right.
It's like, you know.
He lived longer than most people with cystic fibrosis do, although I do think that that's changed over the years. I mean, there was
He has
a point,
gotten better. There's better
there was a
treatments
point
now,
when most people that had cystic fibrosis didn't make it out of their
There's
teens.
better treatments now. They do better with it, But you're still, your life expectancy
isn't great.
Usually around 25.
Yeah. Anton was taken from us far too soon, and that line, I don't know why, but I looked that line up for some reason, and the second I read that line to myself, all I could think of was Anton and Anton's smile, and I hope that the angels got him a real swank place upstairs.
I hope so too.
So that's my award.
Yeah, let's get back up on the up now.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now, my next award is we've got the true alternative facts right here. You've heard about using alternative facts, right?
Ow!
What?
That hurt my head.
Alternative facts are facts that you believe that don't fit the actual facts.
Yeah, didn't we used to call that delusions?
This goes to Cold Case Hammarskjöld. I love this movie.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a fun movie because of the filmmaker and the way he does it. But I gotta be honest, a few years ago, I don't remember whether it was Air Disasters or Seconds from Disaster, studied intently this case, the case of the airplane crash in 1962, I think it was, that killed then Secretary General Dag Hammarskjöld and a whole bunch of other people on their way to mediate a feud going on in Africa. This theory that this gentleman perpetuates here has been around for a long time, but he claims to have substantiated it. And yet, all of the substantiation is nothing more than hearsay. There's no paperwork, there's no proof. I personally believe the official investigation that was undertaken by either Air Disasters or Seconds from Disaster, that they conclusively proved that the bullets that were flying around were done by the fire that caused the crash, that happened after the crash, that they weren't done before, that they weren't done from outside, they came from inside, despite what this movie will tell you. It's a very entertaining movie, and it gives you something to grab hold on if you are a conspiracy theory and determined to insist that this was anything but the accident it was. Okay. My third award, we've got the True Alternative Facts Right Here award, goes to Cold Case Hammerdown.
That's really funny because my next award also has to do with the film Cold Case Hammerdown, the WTF Just Happened award, which goes to Cold Case Hammerdown. Now, when this movie came out, or when we heard about this film, it was playing at a film festival, and TC was all excited.
It was a huge hit at Sundance. It played at IFFB. It came out in August.
You were all excited. Oh, we have to see this. We have to make it part of our
viewing. It was a great movie.
And I was like, okay, great. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
And so we went to the movie, and we're kind of watching it, and I'm kind of sitting there going, all right, okay.
It's kind of easy to do at the beginning.
What? Halfway through the movie, it veers off sharply, and we're all of a sudden, we had this whole thing with this one part of the story, and now we're over here, and we're talking about, all these medical experiments and
South
all those
African
other
hit
stuff,
squads and all these other things.
I'm sitting there going, are we going to get some kind of a gotcha moment like we did in Nuts? I kept waiting and waiting for it.
I did too, actually.
And by the end of the movie, I'm sorry, I was sitting there going, I think I've been had. I'm not sure how I've been had, but I'm pretty sure I've been had.
You fell for the alternative facts.
Well, by the end of the movie, my head was spinning so much, I thought I was going to walk into a wall. So my WTF Just Happened award goes to Cold Case Hammerdown.
My next award is the Mrs. Betty Slocum Memorial Fluorescent Hair Award.
I like that.
And it goes to the ever so incredibly patient dogs from Well Groomed. These poor dogs, I mean, they don't mind it, obviously. Well Groomed is a documentary that focuses on competitive, creative dog grooming. Mm-hmm. Which basically means your dog is a topiary for whatever you want to do for it.
Yep.
There are these ladies from the South, all of them from what I can tell, that were into this. And I mean, they were parading these dogs at these shows. And the one lady had frickin' Broadway and New York and the Statue of Liberty and everything in the dog's fur. Mm-hmm. Sculpted out of the dog's fur and painted into the dog's fur and cut into the dog's fur. I'm like, Kim was horrified at this movie for most of it. We were sitting there, just our jaws were dropping open. And yet, it's a great film. I mean, the ladies who do this really love doing it. It's obvious that they love doing it. They consider it something worthwhile to do. One of them actually has developed a line of products, dyes and stuff
other people,
that are safe for dogs. She specifically they're food based and they're safe for dogs. And I think that's great. Mm-hmm. But oh my God, these poor dogs have to put up with so much crap. Mm-hmm. And if you've not seen it, it should be hitting cable any day. It came out last summer. You gotta watch it, because I swear you will sit there going, what the hell? The Mrs. Betty Slocum Memorial Fluorescent Hair Award goes to the incredibly patient dogs from Well Groomed.
Okay, this is starting to weird me out because
you got a Well Groomed one too?
Yeah, I do, right now. The I So Don't Get It Award, which goes to Well Groomed. I'm sorry, but when we start talking about press-on sparkly things for dogs and dog nail polish and all this other stuff like that, I am like, check, please. The
movie was great fun.
Oh, it was real.
And I loved looking at this
to be
sport
really
that I
honest,
had no idea existed.
To be really honest, I would rather have somebody be doing this to their dog than doing it to their child with those child beauty pageants, because those things are creepy as F.
This movie falls into the line of several movies we've seen over the years where we've been floored at the stuff involved with the animals. There was $1 Million Duck, about the duck paintings, the duck stamp things, and then there was I just had it on the top of my tongue and it totally left me. It'll come back to me. And now there's this one. Chicken People.
Yep.
And now there's which was competitive chicken raising.
Yep.
And now there's this one. I mean, it's a great movie, but man, I don't get what
And
they
the
do.
thing that I find really crazy is when the dog wins, they're happy too.
Yeah.
And it's not
Well,
only
they're happy because their mistress is happy.
That's part of it. But they're also happy because people are looking at them and they're getting all this positive attention.
Oh, that's true too.
So, but still, I so don't get it. And that's why it gets that award.
My award for the most and least likely candidate for Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
Arthur Fleck from Joker.
Okay.
Arthur Fleck, played by wonderfully, brilliantly by Joaquin Phoenix. He's this kind of off the wall. He's got this affliction where he laughs at things he shouldn't. Once he transforms into Joker, he does this dance scene down these steps in Brooklyn to the tune of Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter, which people were freaking out about.
Yeah, that caused a bit of a cringe.
Wow. Okay. I'm bringing this up in this way because one of his co-stars, Robert De Niro, had a character a few years ago in Grudge Match where he ended up as a contestant on Dancing with the Stars. And I'm like, oh God, really? I'm like, Bob, how could you do that? Even in character. Not that we don't love Dancing with the Stars. We do. We did. We don't watch it anymore, but we did for a long time. See Mirrorball Mayhem Archives. I can't help but think that, it would be kind of horrifying.
Oh, yeah.
To see him either as Arthur or, once he's in makeup, as a competitor.
Yeah. It's funny you bring up the whole thing with other people have taken that dance scene and put their own music behind it.
It's a great scene.
One of them being some brave or psychotic soul out there decided to run that scene, and the background music is Shawn Michaels' entrance theme from the WWE Sexy Boy.
Yeah.
Sean actually commented on it on Twitter, I think, or something.
I swear, though, it's just...
That's horrifying.
That sequence is brilliant. And it has actually been compared by one film critic to the steps, the steps scene, I don't remember where it was. The Battleship Potemkin.
The baby carriage scene in Battleship Potemkin.
It's that impactful of steps and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, next on my list is the Put the Camera Back There Right Now award. And that goes to the fact that Roman Reigns did not get enough screen time in The Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. Now, I will grant, out of the goodness of my heart, I will grant that Roman is not one of the stars of the film, even though he should be.
Well, number one, he had just finished chemotherapy.
I know.
And number two, he only has one line.
Yes, he does. Well, he has another vocalization.
It's not a line.
I realize that. I said vocalization. Stop it. I'm trying to be nice. But I'm sorry. Every time he was on camera, I just paid more attention. Fine. I'm a woman. I have needs. Don't judge me.
It doesn't hurt that you like Dwayne and Jason too,
No,
and Idris Elba.
Yes. I mean, it was, if you're a fan of handsome men, that was definitely the movie for you. But I was like, could you put the camera back? He's over there. Either move him or move the camera, but get him back on camera now. So WWE, if somebody from the WWE is listening, could you you make movies? Give Rowan a movie.
Hasn't he done a WWE film yet?
I
know Cena did several, and Miz has done several.
I know.
And even Dolph Ziggler has done a few.
I know.
Ugh.
But no, I think he was in the background of one film that like where they had like all bunch of wrestlers playing a gang or something like that. But no, he hasn't had his own film, and he needs one with full frontal male nudity. But anyway, moving forward, what's your next award, honey? Deflect.
My next award is the How Do We Even Know They're Trashing Fenway Park? It's Too Damn Dark award. And it goes to Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Oh my gosh, you're such a jerk.
I love these movies. I love Godzilla, the first film.
I love you still.
I love Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Mm-hmm. But we very rarely can actually see the kaiju except in shadow, because all of the scenes in the first movie and almost all of the scenes in the second movie take place at night. We can't see them. We get to see a little bit more of Fenway with Millie Bobby Brown, and that's about it. The rest of it is all trash, and you can't even tell what it is. There's no other iconic buildings around either. They don't show the fact that it's close. The Citgo sign is there, but other than that, there's no Hancock Tower. There's no anything else.
Well, that's not that close. It was actually
shot in like Wellington.
Oh, yeah,
or something. Anyway, and we don't hardly see Mothra at all because it's too dark, even though she's there. The How Do We Even Know They're Trashing Fenway Park? It's Too Damn Dark award to Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Okay. My next award is, I've heard of facing your demons before, but this is nuts. The final battle scenes in Shazam, where
okay.
Shazam and the other members of the Shazam family, which are the other children that were in the foster home, because Billy shares his powers with them and they all become superpowered adults as well. And they wind up battling the 7 deadly enemies of man, which are, for lack of any other way to put it, demons.
Yeah.
And these are not, these are like not small demons. These are not, and they're not non-corporeal demons either. These are, living, enormous, scary, where the hell is Hellboy when you need him kind of demons. But the Marvel family handles themselves pretty good. So that's my next award.
The what family?
The Shazam family. I'm sorry. I did say it. Damn. Bad me. All right. Sorry. Go ahead. Next for you.
Okay. Yes. My next award is a good one.
Says you.
I seriously say.
If you do say so yourself.
If it walks like a cat, and it talks like a cat, and it acts like a cat, it's a Flurkin award. And it goes to Reggie the Flurkin, played by Goose, in Captain Marvel.
Yes.
The Marvel version with Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Reggie is a beautiful cat.
He is.
And, although he's not a cat, he's a Flurkin. And apparently we find this out because the Kree know him. The Skrull.
The Skrull.
Sorry.
The Skrull know him, and they're terrified of him, and we find out why.
Later in the movie.
Oh, yes.
Goose is the cutest little cat I've ever seen.
He's very
for
cute.
a role like this. And it also is a kind of foreshadow into what happened with Nick Fury in the Eye Patch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely fun. So if it walks like a cat, it talks like a cat, and acts like a cat, it's a Flurkin award. Goes to Reggie the Flurkin, played by Goose in Captain Marvel.
Okay.
All apologies to Mark Russell.
Next up for me is this award. Send in the clowns on second thought. And that goes to Arthur Fleck's transformation into the Joker.
I was going to say, we didn't see Wrinkles the Clown. We didn't see It Too.
No.
So I was like, Joker.
From
okay,
Joker,
right.
Yeah. This was not a good year if you have colorophobia.
No.
There's
other ones that were smaller that are around too.
Holy cow, not a good year if you're afraid of clowns. But that's what I thought of when we were putting this list together. I was like, oh, that song, that Send in the Clown song. No, wait, we don't want that clown. That clown's scary, and not in the go away, Mr. Clown, you scare me way. That clown is really terrifying. Joaquin Phoenix's performance as Arthur Fleck, who I don't want to say transforms is a strange way to put it, but evolves into the Joker, although I think the Joker was always there.
It just didn't come out, yeah.
It just didn't come out, and once it did, he wasn't going back.
Yeah, it's a bottle you can't break. You
can't put the genie back in that bottle, that's for sure. So, next for you.
Oh, come on! You can't believe anyone in this situation would actually act like this award.
Okay.
Goes to Hobbs and Shaw. Specifically the one scene where they've been captured by Idris Elba and are enduring jumper cables and are insulting each other, trying to take more and more electrical shock. In metal chairs, with chains wrapped around them. You'd be dead in 15 seconds, you idiot!
Well,
honestly, I'm like, are you serious? Not to say the movie wasn't a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But man, this is definitely one of those things where you need to check your reality at the door.
Yeah, I'm going to move one around so mine will come right up behind yours for that one.
All right.
Okay, my next award, here's the laws of physics. Here's the open window. Whee! That goes to pretty much everything.
Ric Flair was in the room? Wow, okay.
That goes to pretty much everything in The Fast and the Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. Fun movie, funny movie, but there are parts I'm going, that wouldn't work, that wouldn't work, that wouldn't work,
it's a
that
complete
definitely wouldn't
suspension
work.
of disbelief is completely necessary.
Yeah.
And a frontal lobotomy might not be a bad choice.
I'm sorry, when we've had a film year that has included, talking trees, talking raccoons, and the idea of an allegedly earthbound film that has all of the same laws of gravity we do, that's the one that's the more outrageous when it comes to, taking physics and throwing it in a blender? Go fig. Next up for you is...
Okay, next up for me is the hands rubbing, grabbing into my pocket, pulling out this round sphere thing. It's the gotta catch 'em all. Wait a minute. What do you mean? There's 750 effing Pokemon now. Goes to Pokemon Detective Pikachu. When I was watching Pokemon, when we were both watching Pokemon, when it first started on the anime, there were 150 Pokemon. We don't play the games. We had a few of the earlier games for Nintendo, but we haven't stayed with all the games that have come out since then.
Nope.
We gave up on the show when it moved to Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
750, 100 freaking Pokemon now. How are you supposed to keep all them straight? I mean, I was going in trying to spot the original 150, let alone the other 500, 600 out there. It was hard enough. Thank goodness Pikachu is a star all his own.
Yes.
Because I don't know what we would have done.
Nope.
My gotta catch 'em all. Wait a minute. What do you mean there's 750 of them now? Goes to Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Okay. My next award is going to come off. Some people might say, gosh, she sounds like she's scolding people.
Oh.
Guess what? She is. The most disappointing audience reaction award. So basically, this is me saying, shame on you, audience, you're a bunch of jerks. The reactions and the laughter from people in the audience the first time we see Thor after the 5 years after Thor winds up beheading Thanos. It's been 5 more years, and now we're back to where the story continues in Avengers Endgame.
I didn't hear any laughter.
I did. I heard laughter. I heard snickering, and I almost wanted to get out of my seat and turn around and be like, F all of you shallow mother effers.
So that's the real reason you didn't like Showplace Icon.
No. I'm also angry at other people that saw this as something amusing. Seeing a person who's in that much pain, and that's how they've coped with it, or haven't coped with it.
You see, we've had this argument over and over again since this movie came out. You have to understand that this version of Thor is really shocking to most people. What are they supposed to do? Roll over and cry? It's going to trigger nervous laughter. That's what it does. Because you don't want to think of him being that way.
Well, maybe that's what it did for certain people. Certain other people in the room were like, that poor man is suffering so very much. What the F is wrong with all of you mother effing a-holes that are laughing at this? F all of you. You insensitive mother effers. I can't help it that I'm a delicate, sensitive flower that understands other people's needs. I'm sorry.
Yes, and you thought first of the geese and not the people in the Miracle on the Hudson.
You had already told me nobody died. So then I mentioned something about the geese, and apparently you're going to just beat that horse as long as you possibly can.
Yes, because you gave me an excuse, too.
Again, sorry, delicate effing flower over here.
Oh, yes,
sorry.
delicate effing flower. And she is, too. Very delicate.
I'm sorry that I have feelings.
And a beautiful flower.
I'm sorry that I have feelings and compassion for somebody that's suffering. What's wrong with me?
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. It's just that most people think of Thor as comic relief anyway. So it's like hard to, I mean, at least within the Avengers context, usually he's got all the really weird jokes lines. So it's a little different. I think you're being too harsh on people. That's me. And speaking of that particular movie, spoiler alert on the next two awards, not the same movie. My damn you movie for the most frustrating movie moment of the year, Natasha's sacrifice in Avengers Endgame. I was so pissed.
Off.
No, just pissed.
Yeah.
Exclamation point. I don't need the grammar Nazi coming after me there.
All right.
I mean, I understand her line of thought that if they got the world back to normal, Clint's family would be back. Mm-hmm. And she didn't have any. But damn it, I love watching Scarlett Johansson in leather. Please stop torturing me that way. By killing her off? You bastards! My damn you movie for the most frustrating movie moment of the year, Natasha's sacrifice in Avengers Endgame. Oh yeah, like you didn't already know that.
No. Oh no, I totally know that.
One of the hottest scenes in all of cinema in the past 20 years is her scenes in the opening of Avengers.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I have a total
Nobody else can beat the crap out of four guys while tied to a chair.
No, I love Natasha. No, that's not the point at all. I have a total girl crush on Natasha. Okay, next up for mine is the Are You Serious movie moment of 2019. Now, this one I was like, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it was definitely a case of, when we find out, now the film before, we had been told that Rey, who has been for so long hadn't remembered anything about her past and her parents and who she came from and who she was and all that, she was told by Kylo Ren that her parents were nobodies. They were no one special and all this stuff like that. Well, we found out that wasn't exactly accurate, didn't we?
Well, the parents were not exactly special. They made it that way.
Yeah, they made themselves... It wasn't that they weren't special. They disguised what made them so important. Mm-hmm. And did that to save Rey from her grandfather. Mm-hmm. Emperor Palpatine. Yeah, the Are You Serious moment for the movies for 2019. The revelation that
Spoiler alert,
that Rey is in fact the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine, which we find out in Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And I was like, what? I mean, I figured that she was going to be somebody, you know, that her family background was going to be someone that was tied in with the you know, the core characters. That one I was like, okay, that I did not see coming. So that's, maybe I'm just like too much of a wide-eyed innocent. I don't know. On to your next one, babe.
Uh-huh. Well, it's interesting you bring up that movie.
Okay.
Well, at least they're not brother and sister. That would be gross award. Goes to Kylo and Rey's kiss in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. I wanted that moment. That was the moment I was waiting for the whole damn movie. And we're both people who loved it. We thought it was great.
Yeah.
There were a few plot holes. And I'm sorry, I think they really screwed Rose Tico over. But this moment was everything I was waiting for since this whole freaking series began. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, spoiler alert, he dies. So there you go.
Yeah.
But at least they did get to kiss, and
Yes.
there was love there. Of course, now we know, after the fact, J.J. Abrams says they're great cousins?
Something like that, yeah.
Apparently, somewhere in the lineage, the Emperor was responsible for the Immaculate Conception of Luke Skywalker, Luke and Leia? Or no, Anakin.
No, Anakin.
Anakin.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Yeah,
I don't even want to go there. La, 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 la,
yeah, that
la, la.
Palpatine manipulated
And you wonder
the...
why I'm a Trekkie and not a Warsi.
Yeah, that Palpatine manipulated the midichlorians that caused Shmi to give birth to
shit. That stuff was
Anakin.
garbage to begin with.
Look, I'm just saying what JJ said. It's not my idea. Okay. We have my next award would be, we have neo-noir and hyper-noir. And now we have cute noir. And that goes to Pokemon Detective Pikachu. When you have a detective story where you've got someone determined to find out the truth and but they have an amnesia, a moment and stuff like that, and they can't remember who they are or where they're from or what they were, they're trying to find out all this stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You've got plucky girl reporters and all this other stuff that you would basically see in a 1940s, film with Humphrey Bogart or something. But in this one, you have a talking electric mouse. Okay, why not? Everything changes. So I guess now we have cute noir on top of all the other branches of noir out there. I don't know. Will it like branch out and have more of them? I honestly don't know.
No, they did well enough that they've got sequels in the pipeline. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. One of my 2 cheater awards this week on this awards, because I needed to get to a certain level, and I wanted to actually bring these up, but I couldn't because they're not specifically geared at movies. This movie or any movie.
Fine.
My most likely future movie star award goes to pro wrestler Marco Stunt, and possibly his brother Logan as well. Marco is proving to be a character, would be a very kind way to put it. He's something else. He's done. Just look up Marco Marko Stunt on YouTube and watch some of his interviews, because he's funny as hell. He's he thinks brilliantly about the business. He's wanted to be a wrestler since he was a kid, actually actively started pursuing it at 15, but he's also got dramatic training from school, and he's a musician, and he's got the full package to be possible another wrestler to follow in the footsteps of people like Roddy Piper and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Mm-hmm. And Mike the Miz Mizanin, and John Cena most recently.
Yeah.
And Logan, his little brother, who is a wrestler for Indie Feds, also has that same charisma. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be seeing more of him, I think, in the next year or two in the scene also. Okay. So my most likely future movie star award goes to pro wrestler Marco Stunt, and possibly his brother Logan, too. Okay.
This one actually goes back to one of the other ones that I gave a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned sexiest superhero and stuff like that. This is a little different. This is the hero I wanted to give the warmest hug.
Okay.
And that goes to Thor from Avengers Endgame. Are
you going to lecture us again?
No, I'm not going to lecture.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Well, it bothered me in the film as well that his friends didn't seem to be very, they weren't very supportive of him. They were very, they derided him. They mocked his weight and stuff like that. And I was just like, you know what? The guy has enough.
I think you were way too sensitive into this. I really do.
I'm like, the guy has enough stuff on his soul already. Somebody could be like, hey man, we know you're suffering and we know you've been through some crap and we're all trying to deal with it or something like that. I'm sorry. I love Thor, and I love Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
But I'm serious. This is not being said in a sexual way. I'm not for once. I'm not thinking with my lady parts. I'm just being like, I want to give you a hug as one person to another person.
Uh-huh.
Because
that's cool.
I care.
Yeah, that's cool.
Shoot me. I have feelings.
You don't need to be shot.
All right. Anyway, next for you.
This is actually kind of like when you gave for the same thing.
Okay.
the You Really Need to Find Something to Better Occupy Your Time award. And it goes to the concept and the people involved with creative, competitive dog grooming from Well Groomed.
Oh my gosh, you know what you should have done? You should have called that the Sticks Award.
The Sticks Award?
Yeah. Think about it.
Why?
What was one of the songs they were famous for?
Oh, Too Much Time on My Hands.
Yeah.
That's Sticks. I thought you were talking sticks like throwing sticks.
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
Sorry.
These ladies obviously really enjoy what
No,
they
they
do.
love
They're
what they're
very into
doing.
it, and they're very talented.
And they're very good to their dogs.
I just don't get. Yeah,
Nope.
no, the dogs are. They love the dogs.
Oh yeah.
I just don't get this. Nope. I really don't. It's a fascinating a sport. Is it a sport? I mean, it
competition.
Competition, but it has to be a sport of some sort, I suppose. Because they also do. They mentioned they also do.
Running.
What's that called? With the dogs when they do the
obstacle courses.
Obstacle courses and stuff.
Things
But
like
there's
that.
a name
Yeah.
for it, though.
I don't know what it's called.
I won't watch it enough. And I mean, if it makes you happy, fine. But my gosh, it's just so out there. Who was the first person to come up with the idea? Hey, I'm going to get some blue dye and dye my dog's ass blue and call it Fred, which is basically all this movie is. You really need to find something to occupy your time better goes to the concept and the people lovingly involved with the competitive, creative dog grooming.
Okay.
You guys got to see this film, I swear.
I might as well do this one next because you brought that up.
I'm not skipping around on mine, so.
Well, I'm going to do that for this one. Somewhere there's a bunch of cats laughing their furry asses off. And that goes to Well Groomed. Because, seriously, could you see doing this to a cat? I mean, I was shocked when I heard about the idea of cat shows.
Cats are not going to let you do it
Oh,
to them.
hell no. Absolutely not. No way. I'm sorry. I could just picture a bunch of cats outside a window where this is going on, watching this and just rolling around on the floor laughing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're not saying this in a mean way. We're really not. These women obviously love these dogs very much and care for them very well.
They do.
And
I mean, these ladies are all really nice.
But it's goofy as hell.
It is.
Sorry.
It is when you're not expecting it.
When you're not expecting it, and when you see, the entire story of Alice in Wonderland on a rather largish dog.
Yeah.
You're like,
You'll be amazed if you actually watch this film at what they can pull off on one dog.
Oh, yeah. And then you'll go, someone's got to wash that.
Yeah.
What's that going to look like when it's done? Eek.
The I would not want to run into that in a dark alley award.
Okay.
Goes to Eye of the Beholder, The Art of Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, yeah.
This movie it got such a small release. It only came out in 6 theaters, and we saw it at the Sci-Fi Festival. Mm-hmm. It's a brilliant documentary about all the artists who have been a part of the Dungeons and Dragons mythos since it was created in 1975. Mm-hmm. We were both gamers of sorts.
Yeah.
You're way more into it than I was, but I enjoyed it. The stuff that they come up with
I know.
is beautiful and brilliant, and I'm not putting it on my wall for anything, even though the artwork is gorgeous.
Oh, some of it's,
it would creep me the hell out.
Oh, I don't know. Some of it's really beautiful. Some of this, like the forest scenes and things like that. Those are
with a beholder in the center
well,
of it?
no, I wouldn't
exactly.
want that.
That's
no.
what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want.
I would not want to run into that in a dark alley award. The art and fun of Eye of the Beholder, the art and of Dungeons and Dragons.
So the 3D image of the gibbering mouther hanging over the bed is a bad idea?
No.
Okay.
Not happening. Right. Unless you want me to put a picture of Justin Bieber opposite the bed. I didn't think so. Anyway.
That hurt. You're going to start playing dirty. That's also not what I thought you were going to say. Okay, next up is my She Is Woman, Hear Her Roar award. So
that's not out yet.
What?
I Am Woman isn't out yet.
No, but that goes to Carol Danvers a.k.a. Captain Marvel in Marvel's Captain Marvel. Wow, that gets confusing. She is just besides the fact that she's a powerhouse because of all of the awesome abilities that she has, she's still very much herself once she finds out who she really is, because she's had her mind mucked with. And I just think she's terrific. I think she's absolutely terrific. I loved her stuff in Avengers Endgame.
Even though she wasn't in it as much as I'd hoped she would be.
Yeah,
I wish
know.
she'd done a bit more.
I know, but she's just awesome, and I can't wait to see more stuff with her.
I can't either. The sequel's already in pre-production, so.
Okay.
Going along the lines of my last award.
All right.
The I would not want to run into him in a dark alley or anywhere else award goes to Mike Wallace in the documentary Mike Wallace is Here. For those of you who remember Mike Wallace as the tough as nails, no nonsense interviewer that seemed to be out to get everybody he was talking to during his run on 60 Minutes over 30 some years. He actually got his start on a show called The Mike Wallace Program, which was on ABC in the 50s, and it was just as hard-hitting, and he didn't pull punches. The man was a brilliant newsman. He really was. But I'll tell you, there was a period in the 70s and 80s where if a corporation saw Mike Wallace walking up to the building, they would shutter all the windows, lock all the doors, and say, "We're out of business." Because they didn't want to talk to him. And that's how scary he was to them. I would not want to run into him in a dark alley or anywhere else. Mike Wallace.
Okay.
From Mike Wallace is Here. Great documentary if you haven't seen it.
Okay. With all apologies to Stan Lee, my next award is With Great Power Comes Beer. And that goes to the scene in Shazam when Billy and Freddie go to a local Quick Stop kind of a place. Now, at this point, Billy has been granted the power of the wizard Shazam and now can become an adult when he says the wizard's name, Shazam. The thing is, when he becomes an adult, he's still got the mind of a teenage boy. So you're a teenage boy who now looks like a grown-up man. Your first idea is to go to the store with your buddy and get some beer. Badly.
And they didn't like it either, we should point out.
No, but it's, I'm like, well, that's the first thing you did. Okay, I mean, it could have been something worse, so that's why that gets my award.
Along those same lines, I had to complain about that movie. And it's because of my love for the original comic.
All right.
This award is the Yes, We're Too Chicken to actually feature this comic's most recognizable trope, otherwise known as the award. And it goes to Shazam. The reason why is they copped out on doing the most familiar thing to prevent Billy from using his powers. In the comic books, Savannah knew who he was. All he had to do was tie up and gag Billy, and he couldn't do anything. Because he couldn't say his magic word. Same with Freddie and Mary, the original Marvel family.
In order to transform, you have to say it aloud. Right. You can't just think
Here, they didn't do that. I think it's because they're too chicken about all the PC stuff going on. No, instead, Savannah shoves Asher Angel's head underwater, so it can't be heard properly.
Right.
Chicken shits. Honestly.
Well,
do it the right way. From going way back. I mean, that's just what because they did it in the serial.
Yeah.
Frank Conklin spent half of an episode tied up trying to get loose so he could say his magic word.
Right.
That's part of the mythos of Billy. And it would have worked great if him and Freddie had been captured together.
Right, it would have. Except for the fact that, like you said, you'd have people.
For Pete's sake.
You'd have some people reading stuff into it.
There are movies from all over time and space from every country on the planet where teenagers get in trouble, get kidnapped, whatever, and have to endure, being trussed up and gagged and blindfolded and whatever. There's no reason why, when it's written into the trope of the comic book as his number one weakness, not to use it.
Well,
my number one, my Yes, We're Too Chicken to actually feature the comic's most recognizable trope, or the award, goes to Shazam.
Well, if you look at it from another point of view, Robin was 8 in the original comics.
Fine.
Chris O'Donnell was how old?
I know.
Yeah.
And Billy, the original Billy was 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Not 15, 16.
Right.
But still.
So, anyway, moving forward.
I mean, even Michael Gray got tied up once in the TV series, in the old show.
Right.
So come on, people.
They want to just, they're probably too worried about the hand-wringing, pearl-clutching,
think of the children
type. Yeah.
Give me a break.
The
children probably know more than you old bag. Anyway.
I'm going to be perfectly honest and say my final 3 awards all have to do with the same.
Final 3?
Yeah.
I have 4 more. How do you have 3 more?
I don't know, but I do.
Okay.
All to do with the same movie, so get comfortable.
Okay. All right.
My mark-out moment of the decade, never mind the year. For those of you who don't know what that term means, mark-out is something from the world of professional wrestling. It means when something happens and you're like, yes!
Not to be confused with Marco, which we were talking about.
No!
I'm just saying.
No.
Just saying.
No. Marking out means something happens and you're completely like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You're like, that's the most awesome thing ever.
Yep, okay.
So,
anyway.
There's actually 2 moments. It's a tie, but they're from the same movie.
This is personal mark out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is personal mark out moments, yes. The first one, both of them are from Avengers Endgame and both of them involve the same character. The moment that Captain America is able to wield the mystic weapon Mjolnir, which nobody else is supposed to be able to hold except Thor and Vision.
Yeah.
Well, Vision, it makes perfect sense because he's an android and completely innocent, so that innocence apparently equals worthiness.
Right.
And when I love that scene because when Cap's holding Mjolnir, Thor looks at him and he says, "I knew it." And I love that because that harkens back to Age of Ultron, and that always made me wonder if Cap really tried.
If it's sitting in the bottom of the elevator, is the elevator going to go up? It's not worthy.
If Cap really was trying to pick up Mjolnir, if he really could have, but didn't.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to show Thor
he'll
up.
never tell us now because he's like retired officially.
Because Cap's a bro.
He's an old man.
Because Cap's a bro like that.
Yeah.
The other scene was when everyone, and I mean everyone, is now going to face off against Thanos and his crew of baddies, and you have Cap holding his hand out and yelling, "Avengers!" and Mjolnir slams into his hand, "Assemble."
Yeah.
And biggest battle ever! And I'm sorry, I was like, I just completely,
Well, we finally got the line. It took them 4 movies to get there.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, it was...
4? Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the final oh god at the end of oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god!
4.5 if you count Civil War.
Yeah. So there's that.
Okay.
All right.
Are you done?
No, I have 2 more.
Oh, okay.
They're just also from Avengers Endgame. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
So,
all right. My next award. I'll do my next 2 awards then.
Right.
My next award is the of course, why not? He does everything else award. It goes to Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu from Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I had initially heard that the fandom had wanted Danny DeVito to do it, which I think would have been hilarious.
I think it would have been weird.
Well, it's weird that Ryan Reynolds is talking as Pikachu.
Oh.
Because we don't hear Pikachu we don't hear him speak in the game. You only see the word bubbles, you know? So it's weird to hear him speak. It's even weirder to hear him speak English instead of Pika, Pika, Pika.
The thing is, everybody else hears that in the movie.
Yeah. So he's only talking to Justice Smith's character. So it's an interesting thing. But he did a great job. It was a lot of fun and a lot of funny stuff going with it. So of course, why not? He does everything else award. Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu. And this is going to sound weird, and you will get it. It's not meant to be snarky. It's meant to be kind of like allegorical.
Okay.
The Bob Crane Memorial Award for Weirdest and Possibly Dangerous Photography goes to Anton Yelchin for Love, Antosha. We
Different
found out
kind of photography,
but it's still no. Bob did other stuff too besides what he was doing with his girlfriends and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Bob Bob was famous for, videotaping his liaisons with women and stuff. Anton wasn't doing that. He was taking his photograph, his Nikon or whatever he had, down into the belly of Sunset Boulevard late at night and early in the morning on the weekends to take pictures. And I'm like, this is not a safe area at that time of night. What the hell? I mean, he usually had 2 or 3 people with him. He grabbed them from the crew of whatever movie he was working with or whatever. But my God, I mean, this is like, dude, you are a rising star. Do not go down there and chance getting stabbed or shot or, hurt or anything. Don't do anything stupid, And in the end, he didn't, and we still lost him.
Yep. Which is unfairness.
Weirdest
of the
and possibly
universe.
dangerous photography, and I'll tell you, some of the photographs he's done, they're available on his on the Anton Yelchin Foundation website, and they're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
And my next award, is that both of them? Okay, you're next too.
Okay, my next award, this is so me, and you'll be like, yep, that's totally her. Mm-hmm. The happiest scene in the whole movie, and I'm bawling my eyes out award, goes to the scene at the end of the film of Avengers Endgame, spoiler alert, where you have this big face-off between the forces of good and the forces of evil, but it hasn't happened yet.
This has something to do with Spider-Man, doesn't it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's before the actual battle.
Oh, okay.
And, well, before the really huge battle.
Right, gotcha.
And Steve hears a voice he hasn't heard for 5 years. Say, Cap, on your left.
Oh, yeah.
And we see a sling ring portal opening. Yeah. And the first people we see walking out of it are T'Challa, and the woman that's the head of the Dora Milaje, and Shuri. Mm-hmm. And then overhead we see Sam Wilson, the Falcon, fly over, and we see all these sling ring portals opening up, and all these people that we lost or we haven't seen and stuff like that. And it's just the most amazing moment in the film, and you're supposed to be cheering and, clapping and applauding, and I'm sitting there sobbing and just this broken sound, and I have this huge smile on my face, and I'm just awash in tears, and he's looking at me with this Kermit bitch face, like...
I never did any such a thing.
You were looking over at me like, ugh, not again.
Maybe
here.
I might have done that.
Yeah, he's looking at me like, ugh, not again, Russell, here, fistful of napkins.
Yeah, that's usually what I was doing.
One of those things.
Honestly, you should just bring a box of tissues with you every time we go to the movie.
I just think I need a sponge.
She starts crying at the drop of a hat.
I think I just need a sponge and a bucket, I guess. I don't know.
Sponges don't hold everything.
And my last award is, how could this get any better? Oh, like this. This doesn't quite have to do with the film. It has to do
with YouTube.
Yes, it has to do with what other people have done with the film. Because there are a lot of talented people on YouTube. I'll be the first to admit that. And what a lot of people have taken to doing is taking that series of scenes from the end of Avengers Endgame
and adding way too much to it.
And don't stop that. It's so interesting who people add, and it shows who some people's heroes are.
Yeah.
Because you see, I'm sorry, for the most part, all of the ones I've seen, these are all characters, for the most part, not all the time. Right. The SpongeBob characters, really, y'all?
Yeah.
These are all characters that would come in very handy in a battle with Thanos and his bad guys. You've got the Justice League. You've got John Rambo, John Wick, all these other characters, and one of the most amazing ones I saw was one of the whole scene with Cap saying Avengers Assemble, and the next thing they cut to is Godzilla roaring. I'm like, Captain America riding on the back of Godzilla into battle would be the most awesome thing in the history of ever!
For Pete's sake.
And the crazy thing is, some people even done ones with just villains coming to the aid of superheroes. And I know some people would be like, what? Why? But, even a bad guy wants to live.
Suicide Squad theory.
Yeah. Suicide Squad, the Joker. One of the ones I saw, I was like, okay, that's really awesome and that's really cool, but Captain America fighting side by side ally-wise with King Ghidorah. Holy crap! So
I have a feeling Ghidorah would side with Thanos.
I don't know. Ghidorah's not stupid. I mean, two of his heads might be, but the middle one's pretty smart.
Okay.
So that's my award to all of those very talented people who are way more talented than me. Although I would like to bring up all of the ones I have seen. Where in the hell are the Winchesters? And where the hell is Castiel? I'm sorry, an actual angel?
Yeah, I'm
you don't
surprised
include
they didn't
him?
have them in there. I really am.
Really? Seriously?
But then you have to include everybody else that's like them in TV, like Constantine.
Some
and the
of
people
them
in The
have.
Expanse, and it gets out of control. It turns into the freaking end of Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. I mean, multiple endings over and over and over again. I love the movie, but that whole ending thing drives me up the wall. Anyway,
all right.
My last two awards, then, since you did your last two. My first one is the Not an Ideal Vacation Award. And it goes to the family featured in the incredible documentary Midnight Traveler.
Oh, gosh, I have one more. I'm sorry.
Oh, do you?
And
Okay.
it has to do with that, too. I'm sorry.
I wondered why I was so far
So
behind.
I have one more. Sorry.
Midnight Traveler is an amazing film that just came out from Oscilloscope this fall. We saw it at the Salem Film Fest. And it was amazing that these people, they're just trying to get out of where they are because they've had a fatwa put on the head. He's a journalist. The wife is a filmmaker. They're traveling across country after country trying to find asylum. And I think it was Hungary that finally gave it to them a year and a half, 2 years after they left with prices on their head.
Yep.
It's like, are you kidding me? There's two little girls who grew up in this kind of conditions.
Yep.
I mean, it was an amazing film and a gut-wrenching one too. And you should see it when it hits like Netflix or one of those because it is an unforgettable movie.
Yeah.
So my Not an Ideal Vacation Award to Midnight Traveler.
Yeah, my really for serious last one is we have so far to go.
Yeah.
And that's the struggles of the family and their ordeals in Midnight Traveler.
Yeah.
It's just, you watch these people and all they're trying to do is find a place to live where they're not going to have people shooting at them, And they wind up in Europe where you think, okay, they're somewhere where things are a little safer. No, you've got all these...
Europeans have the same kind of immigration problem that we have in America now, and the same kind of reaction.
Yeah, and
really.
Unfortunately the same kind of racist thugs
Yeah.
that don't have any problem with the idea of beating people up whose only crime is they want to live as free as you do.
Yeah, and they were, where were they? They were in Norway or Sweden, someplace like that.
I don't think they had gotten that far. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe it was, it just seemed like a country that normally didn't do that.
No.
I don't remember what it was.
But we as a species, we have so far to go.
Yeah. My final award of the Just 'Cause We Can Awards is another sort of cheater, but it's involving the movies. The 2020 release I most want to see right this very damn minute. There are tons of good movies that are scheduled to come out in 2020. We'll talk about them all in this coming week's Subject Cinema. A lot of them.
Yep.
But the one movie I would stand in line for right this second, there's only one choice if you know who I am and who I continually talk about. No?
I'm thinking, but...
My movie I want to see right this very damn minute from 2020 is Worm, starring Theo Taplitz.
Yep.
Theo's new movie based on the short film by Christopher Winterhauer and also directed by Christopher Winterhauer, the full-length version, is a science fiction comic allegory about growing up in an age where there's a policy called No Child Left Alone or Nobody Left Behind or whatever, but this involves their maturity rather than their ability to pay or their ability to grow in grades. And his character is the last to not pop his collar, which means he's had his first serious kiss. I love Theo. He's a brilliant young actor, and I cannot wait to see him take on this role. And I better get to see it at Underground, guys, if it's not in theaters yet. So Boston Underground, your deadline was today. You better be on there. My 2020 release I want to see right this very damn minute, Worm, starring Theo Taplitz.
Okay.
Okay, we have one last big, serious award. We have not been giving poppies and rosies, but we have still been picking our favorite or best film of the year.
Yep.
What's yours? It was hard.
It
there
was
two
hard.
or three I was really torn between.
I did not
considering
give it,
the limited ones.
I did
that we
not
saw.
give it to Joker because while I thought that was an amazing film, I don't know that I'd want to see it again immediately.
Yeah.
Because the first time traumatized the living crap out of me.
Yeah.
But my favorite film was Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it just was put the perfect period at the end of the tale that has been told of the Marvel Universe so far. It is a story of sacrifice. It is a story of what you will do for people that you love. And there's just so much about it that is so good. I know there are plot holes, but you can sit there and overanalyze stuff to death for anything if you wanted to. So that's why it's my favorite film.
My favorite film, also not Joker. It came this close. Joker is just really, really well made. I had to go with my gut, and for the first time in the history of all the awards that we've given since 2005, I've slotted a documentary over a narrative. My favorite film of 2019 is Love, Antosha. I adored this film. And I didn't adore the effect it had on Kim the first time we saw it. We both knew it was going to happen. We were ready for it. But I didn't think it was going to be that bad. And it's okay, because I was feeling it too.
Yeah.
We were both such huge fans of Anton, and losing him was a gut punch that we've never recovered from. I find it very difficult to watch his stuff on right now. It did affect my viewing of Star Trek Beyond. He had passed away less than a month before it came out, and it's nice to see that a couple of his older films that we adore are starting to get a little bit more respect. Fierce People, which is just a wonderful movie that includes some of the greatest people of all time, including a pre-stardom Kristen Stewart, a pre-stardom Chris Evans, and the always marvelous Diane Lane and Donald Sutherland. If you have not seen it, it is well worth checking out. And the other one that's starting to get attention a little bit more than it did when it came out is the remake of Fright Night he did. Fright Night was a great film to begin with. I never saw the original all the way through, but you loved it with who played the Roddy McDowall.
Roddy McDowall.
You liked that movie. Everybody I know that saw it loved it. I loved this version. David Tennant especially was fantastic, and Anton was terrific. And I think he
and
deserves
also
more
people
credit.
are notice. I've noticed some people have taken notice finally of Charlie Bartlett, which was another
Charlie
film
Bartlett
of his
was
that was
such an underrated
underseen. Great film, terrific. Turn acting-wise for Kat Dennings and Robert Downey Jr.
That was part of Robert Downey Jr.'s 2008 trifecta. Where he actually, or 2009, I forget which year Iron Man came out. Within that year, Iron Man had come out, he had done Sherlock Holmes, and he did this, and it was just like, wow. You know, these are great things, and it was such a great part for him. It was different than what he'd normally played.
It was.
And he and
it's
Anton had amazing chemistry. So that's why I picked Love, Antosha.
That's a
Definitely
terrific
check
choice.
it out when it comes on cable. Or, if you can win a copy of it from us for DVD, because we'll have a contest for you later this weekend. Keep a lookout.
So, 2019 is almost in the rear view mirror.
Yeah, we are, as we're recording this, we're a little bit more than 2 hours away from it. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to 2020 and a change of year, because the last year has been kind of rough on everybody in the world, in film industry, in our own personal lives, in the lives of several of our friends. I'm hoping 2020 will add some new outlook. Do you have any resolutions concerning what we do here for 2020?
I am resolving positivity, and I am resolving creativity. I am resolving to do more of my writing, more of my voice acting, and anybody out there who would like to hire a voice actress who works astoundingly cheap, look me up. But that's I'm trying to look at
plug.
Yep. Hey, you know, if you're not going to plug yourself, who's going to plug? No, you know what? I'm not going to finish that. We're not that kind of podcast.
My resolution is to make sure I get to see at least one current film every week, whether it's in the theater or on demand, and I'm going to make sure that reviews get published for everything I do, and I'm going to make sure that we get more and more involved with our listeners. Part of the reason why we launched the Patron Circle was to not just help us out with expenses, because it's very expensive doing all we do every month. We can cover it, but it's rough. We could use the help. Part of that was also to develop a new place where everybody could get together, could have some interaction with each other. And we're going to talk a little bit more seriously about the Patreon Circle and what we're going to do on our next show. And we really hope that you will take the time in 2020 to come aboard and help us out, because the podcasters and the procasters, we're one of the last big roots podcasts involving film left. We've been doing this we'll be going into our 15th season in June.
Wow.
And we want you to be there and be a part of that, and we want to do more for you in return. So we'll talk more about it on our next show.
Okay.
Until then, because we want to get this up before the year hits.
Yeah.
Are we going to sing?
Sure.
For Subject Cinema, I'm T.C. Kirkham.
I'm Kim Brown.
May your popcorn always be buttered.
And may your roses always be in bloom. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne?
See you in 2020.
Bye.
You have been listening to Subject Cinema with hosts T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Subject Cinema is produced by PNRNetworks, Boston, Massachusetts, which is solely responsible for its content. Subject Cinema theme performed by Eric Lyon. Subject Cinema is recorded and produced using Sony Vegas products. Subject Cinema is copyright 2018 by PNRNetworks under a Creative Commons license. Check out a new episode of Subject Cinema every weekend. Until next time, this is Bob Taylor for Subject Cinema, and we'll see you at the movies.
That's all.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.